This week, we're going back to Germany, the Deutschland, the fatherland. We're going to be looking at, that's not over there, Germany's this way. We're going to be looking at the Carl Zeiss Biotar 58mm f2. Now this is a third version of it, but it's a pretty good one. So let's dive into this together, look at the history of it, as well as the use of it as well, too, right? So come on down, get you some, and let's get it on.
Here I am, Vietnam. Rain is always coming down.
This is Camera Talk with Dr. Scott and Dylan. That's right. Two of us are back again this week on Camera Talk with another vintage lens. Now, it's not a new lens. We've talked about this lens, you know, when we talked about Carl Zeiss lenses that I have. And I've compared it with the Helios 44 and so forth and so on. But this week, it gets its own show, its own episode. And what are we talking about? We're talking about the Carl Zeiss 58mm f2 Biotar. And this particular one, looking at the serial number, was produced in 1954. So it's older than me. Well, I'm older than you, but this is older than me. And it's a good representation of this particular model. Now, going, back in time to when this thing was first brought to the table, so to speak. Dr. Willy Merte, or Merti, depending on I guess how the accent. There's a little foot on the end of the E on his name. Anyway, he designed this thing, back in the 1930s, and they began producing these in 1936, and actually they went all the way through to 1960. 4 different versions, as I already mentioned. There's a 5th version that I don't really count because it's a kind of bringing back the old lenses, and that's a company called O Prima. And in 2018, they created a Biotar of their own. So I don't really count that as part of this anyway. So when Dr. Willy designed this thing, the first camera that they put it on, as far as a kit lens goes, was the Jena Night Exacta, which was the most advanced 35mm camera of its kind. Before World War II came along, and as I said, it was a kit lens, but it was also kind of the high-end kit lens. They also offered Meyer Optic Görlitz Primo Plan and Schneider Xenon, also a 58-2, and and then the Biotar. Those were the 3 options you would have. This is in 1939 to buy this Exacta camera. Now, what would sound like maybe cheap today was pretty pricey. I mean, these were top of the line cameras back then, just like a Leica camera is today, or a brand new Canon or Nikon or Sony or anything else that comes out pretty pricey when it first hits the market. And with the Meyer Optic Görlitz, as well as the Schneider, actually, both of them were going for $185. Now, in 1939, $139 was pretty expensive. I didn't say 139, did I? $185 was pretty expensive. And if you do the conversion today, it's $3,741. That's pretty pricey, right? Versus the Biotar, which was $270. That's right, $270. Can you believe that?
What the fuck?
checking out with today's prices, $5,461 US dollars for this camera and lens combination. So pricey, wasn't it? You know, but again, as I said, it was a top of the line, most advanced 35 millimeter camera that they had on the market at the time. So people thought it was worth it. And you know, throughout the war, you know, things were obviously being shifted manufacturer-wise towards the war effort, and you know, Carl Zeiss actually had a pretty advanced SLR on the drawing board, and they were ready to rock and roll with that. And then again, along came you know, Mr. Hitler and his gang, and kind of messed things up for the Germans for the next few years. And in 1945, the British and Americans bombed the snot out of the area where the Carl Zeiss factory was in Jena. And, you know, basically killed a majority of the staff and engineers and technicians, and you know, all the technical drawings and plans, and you know, everything was in. Holy crap! You know, what was left was you know, rummaged about by the Soviets, and they took them back to Russia, including some technicians, and you know, along came you know, the Helios and other Russian versions of what they thought a Carl Zeiss lens would be, and camera for that matter. But you know, Carl Zeiss actually got back up on its feet fairly quickly, because it's 1945. By 1949, they had, again, a groundbreaking innovation in photography, and they came up with a 35 millimeter camera, again, the first eye-level SLR. And this was the Contax S. You probably heard of it, maybe not. As I said, it was the first eye-level SLR and the first to use the M42 screw mount as well. And in 1949, this, again, using the Biotar, went for $475. That was pretty expensive as well in the day, because doing the calculations, as I said, today's dollars, that's 5,611, I think.
Get the fuck out of here.
Altogether. So again, it was pretty pricey. Now the Contax had pretty much a monopoly on the scene as an SLR for, you know, for quite a while. You know, it was like 9 years or so afterwards that the Japanese first began catching up and producing their own SLRs. So the Contax was it. They were the bee's knees in the SLR world. Now, of course, Leica still, you know, ran with the rangefinder thing. But as far as SLRs were going, you know, the Contax they were the king of the hill, so to speak. As I said, there were 4 models of this from 1930. Oh, is this history getting to you? 1937 to 1945. They had, you know, again, a Biotar, very nice, 17 bladed monster. They had a 1946 to 1952. And 1950 to 1954 were very similar models. This one is from the 1950 to 54 model. The 46 to 52 had little black stripes for the aperture settings that you could see looking down the barrel. So that's how you could tell the difference in these ones. And then the last model ran from 1953 to 1960, and as I said, the aperture blades ranged from 8 to 10 to 12 to 17, and then that El Primo one, again, I don't count it. So that was kind of the history of it in a nutshell. Now the specs on this thing, it's 6 elements in 4 groups. Its close focus distance is 50 centimeters, so it's half a meter. This model here, 10 blades, and it's fairly light. Actually, it was the lightest out of the group. It's only 210 grams. It's aluminum body, nice and smooth, clickless aperture ring, and it's preset. So you pull the aperture ring down and set it to, like, say you want to go to 5.6, you set it to 5.6, and then when you're focusing, now again, in a digital world we don't do that anymore, but in SLR world you need to look through the lens, so you would open back up to f2 again to get as much light in there as you can to focus, and then you could just turn the aperture dial as far as it would go, and it would stop at 5.6 because that's where you set it. So that way you wouldn't have to take your eye off and look at it and go, oh, I better set that back to 5.6, and then you got to go, oh man, now I got to refocus. So this way you got your eye through the camera, through the lens, and you're focused, and then you switch to 5.6, take your picture, and you're done. So again, that was great innovation for the day. As far as reputation for quality goes, the build quality was outstanding. It's got the red T for the coatings. They didn't have the T star at the moment, but again, the T stood for transparent, in German, for the type of coating on it. It has a Q1 little stamp on the inside as well, to say that it was quality 1 for exportation. So it was, again, the best that they had to offer. Aluminum, like I said, aluminum body, nice smooth focusing ring, aperture ring. Again, it's a nice lens. Wide open, sharp, at least in the middle anyway. And it gets sharper as you stop down. F8 to F11 is kind of where it tops out. And then you get diffraction when you go further, but generally, for my type of photography, I'm always shooting wide open most of the time anyway. I'll stop down 1 or 2 stops, but that's about it. So it's great. It's got great color. Again, this thing was designed before they had computers, so you can imagine, all the calculations and whatnot that went into the effort to design this thing. What are you rubbing your eyes so much for? Are you sleepy or something? Huh? Had too much fun today? So, what else can I say? Bokeh. Nice bokeh. It's nice and smooth. It's not too wild. I mean, it can get a little swirly, but not as much as like the Soviet. I know some people say it's a copy, but it's an attempt to copy this thing. So the Soviet version, the Helios, probably the most widely produced lens in the world. Millions of these things got produced by multiple manufacturers in Russia. And that gets much more swirlier than this one. But to get a swirl from your Biotar, basically the way the science works is you need to be at least 2 meters from your subject, and then your background about another 7 meters past that to get ideal situation. And again, it depends on what is in the background. Ideally, it's like trees and whatnot that have light coming through them, and you get some nice swirly type of action happening there. But anyway, again, it's a really nice vintage lens, and they're not too expensive. They kind of range, anywhere from maybe $150 up to $300, depending on the condition and really who's selling it. They're very nice, they're very nice lenses. So, can I recommend it? Yes.
9 doctors out of 10 doctors probably agree.
I can give you a big thumbs up on the Carl Zeiss Biotar. Now it's big brother, the 75.
His brother from another mother.
Millimeter is even more sought after, but it's much more expensive too. So, you know, here at Modesty Photography, you know, we're all about trying to save you some money on that kind of stuff. So I don't want to turn you on to the 75, but this 58 is very nice. So with that said, I'm going to get you a shot of the nameplate on the barrel of the kit lens that's recording this video now, as my usual routine, just to show you from this distance. I'm about 1.5 meters, 1.75 meters from the camera. Again, just to show you what it can do from this distance, or not what it can do, but how sharp it is. So Mr. Dylan is going to obviously assist me in this. He likes when we get nice and sharp on the end of the lens here. How's that, buddy? That look good? Huh? All right, let's ready. 1, 2, 3. He didn't give me a Usually he does to get us that kind of thing going, to let us know that I've made the shot. All right, let's do 5.6 just for shits and giggles, or for you, just the giggles. You know, you do have the shits when you get going, man. Those diapers can be pretty smelly. All right, so let's zip in nice and tight here. 1, 2, 3. Nah. Oh, there's that nah. I was looking for. So anyway, those are the shots of again, of the lens to show you you know, what it looks like coming from this angle. Now I'm going to give you some shots of this guy as well, my little model here, and yeah, give you some shots at f2, mostly at f2, because again, I like f2. So let's look at that here. And let's do 5.6 again. So we're ready? Going to do that here. And how about some random stuff? Yeah, instead of all Dylan all the time. When he's old enough, I'm sure he's going to want his own YouTube channel, and that Dr. Scott will be out of the picture. But yeah, let's give you some random stuff, so it's not just portraits, but you know, landscape, cars, trees, flowers, other stuff. So let's do that here. All right, and I think that was pretty much it, right? Yeah. All right, so with that said, let me move on to my little plug about the photo editing software that I use. And what do we use? We use Luminar AI, and Luminar Neo. And Neo is their latest, greatest version. You know, actually, I don't even know if they've released. I'm sure they've released it to the public by now. I have the early bird version to check it out. Power line removal, spot and dust removal, relighting, scene relighting, stuff like that. Of course, all other softwares do little things like that too. But this does it with artificial intelligence.
This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
So the old way of doing it, let's say you got a bunch of power lines through your picture, you used to have to, brush over them, basically the red line, and then hit the erase, and hopefully it got everything. You'd have to go back and clean it up a little bit. Well, this, you don't even do that. You just power line removal, boop, hit the button, it analyzes the picture and gets rid of it. Hold on, get an itch. All in one foul swoop. Same with spots. Spots. Sounds like Captain Kirk. Spock.
Spock.
So spots. Dust. You have a dusty sensor. Dirty sensor, huh?
You are a dirty girl.
Again, it'll analyze your picture. If you click on that button, it'll analyze it, look for what it figures are going to be dots, and it's pretty good at it. Actually, its artificial intelligence is pretty intelligent. And one click of the button, whoop, gone. Relighting, you move the lights around, the scene and whatnot in case you want frontal light or backlight or side light or Rembrandt light, that kind of stuff. So pretty cool. And if you want to get yourself a copy and save $10, click below. That's right. Click below, and there's a link down in the description where you can get $10 savings. And what does that $10 savings mean for you? You save some money, right? So if it's $60 or $80 or whatever it is, you get it $10 off. And then what do we get out of that? We
$1 million.
get a kickback too, right? Yeah, kickback. You're supposed to raise your hand. Yeah, kickback. So we get, a little something for that as well. And that way you can buy his cookies. So buy some Luminar. Or at least try it anyway. You can try it for free. So, what else do we need you guys to do? Subscribe, right? Yeah, that helps to expose us out there in the world. So, how about you subscribe? That's right. You want to do one on your own? Subscribe. Yeah. How about two hands? Ready? Subscribe. That's right. Yeah, subscribe. He loves subscribers. And how about the thumbs up? That's another algorithm YouTube uses as well, right? So thumbs up for the thumbs up girls. Thumbs up. Do, thumbs up. That's right. And what else were we going to talk about? I think that was pretty much it. Well, stay safe out there, people. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for the thumbs up. Stay safe. Stay cool. Stay shooting. I'm not talking about shooting. I'm talking about shooting with your camera. Practice. That's how you're going to improve in your photography. So anyhow, thanks for dropping by. And who was this? This was Camera Talk with Dr. Scott and Dylan. And I guess we'll see you next week then, right? Because you're going to come back for another episode where we're going to talk about more lenses, more camera stuff, more photography, more Dylan, and yeah, we'll play it by ear. So I guess we'll see you next week. Take care, stay safe, and how about bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Here I am, Vietnam. Rain is always